It's not your job to make them figure you out. It is not your job to get their validation, because you don't need anybody's validation. You don't need it from me. You don't need it from your neighbor. You don't need it from your mother. You don't need it from your friend. You don't need it from your spouse. The only validation that you need is G-O-D, period. And when you got God's validation and God's love and God's promises and God's power that dwells within your beautiful spirit, baby, you don't need nobody out here to understand you.
Funny how I woke up feeling like I'm Sleepy Brown. So fresh, so clean, you can throw dirt on my name, won't keep me down. So proud of myself, wish the old me could see me now. Turn heads every time I be around because I'm dripping.
Hello, beautiful souls. How are you doing? I hope all well with you. Happy Sunday. My favorite day of the week is Sunday, okay? So happy Sunday to you, beautiful souls. Chosen ones, the reason why you are so misunderstood is because you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be. And I'm more mature now, so I can say this to you, because probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would have not said this. I would have never said this. But you are misunderstood because you're supposed to be. Trust me, we are rare. We are like rare diamonds that you just stumble across. Like you didn't even have to dig far down into the earth. You know, you just stumble upon a chosen one. And when people meet someone like you, again, I'm going to always bring up the vibration, the frequency, the 3D, and the 5D. When they meet someone like you on such a beautiful frequency and vibration, the fact that you are constantly in 5D, okay, they're not going to understand you. And see, because again, we're on the 3D plane, when they act like this with you, you're going to feel like, why y'all, like, what is so hard? What is so hard about you understanding me? What is so hard about hearing my explanation, hearing how I talk, and you still come up with a different conclusion? It's frustrating because you're like, I'm explaining this as clear as day and I have good intentions, right? But see, chosen ones, most of the people that we encounter, they're not like us. They're nothing like us, matter of fact. They're consistently in 3D. They're consistently in low vibrations and frequencies. So when they meet someone in a higher vibration, and you're always like this, okay? We are always high vibration. We have low vibration moments, yes, but for the most part, let me say that. For the most part, we are high vibration. That's like, it's foreign to them. You know, it's like almost speaking another language that you've never heard. That's how you are, chosen one. You're like another language that you've never even heard before. So when you're talking to people that are used to being around other people, like it's like their native land, like they're used to everybody sounding the same, looking the same, dressing the same, behaving the same, and then they stumble across the rare diamond such as yourself, okay, because you are. I am, that's who we are. They are like, again, look at my face. Like, it's like, what? Who are you? Like, where did you come from? Like, what are you talking about? Like, And when people can't understand something, when they can't explain something, it frustrates them. And I know that because it happens to me. You are like a walking confusion to them. And again, for them in a bad way, but for us, it's good because we know who we are. But for them, it's bad because you're not simple. You're not simple-minded. You know, you're very intriguing. Your thought process and the way you break things down and the way you do things is unlike what anybody else has ever done before. So again, just like when I told you guys about the rejection part as your protection, you have to understand the same thing about being understood. We are supposed to be misunderstood. But the more and more people start to wake up, the more and more people start to listen. They're supposed to try better to understand you. But a lot of times people, they're not going to get to that point. You're going to meet some people, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you already have, and you will meet some people where they're just stuck. Like this has been them forever. They don't change, they don't evolve, they don't grow. If anything, they get worse. It's a saying that says, whatever doesn't grows, it dies. Okay? And it's true. If it's not growing, then what else is it doing? Even if you're staying just stagnant, it's still like a slow death in a sense. Chosen ones, we're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. We're constantly getting better. You are better than you were yesterday. I am better than I was yesterday. And that is the goal. But for people that love to misunderstand you, they're not growing. But the flip side of that coin is when you remove your presence, okay? Because after a while, when you're not being understood, when you feel like you're not being heard, or people are, again, thinking the wrong things about you, when you know your worth as a chosen one, you're going to leave the environment. Whether it is a romantic thing, whether it is something like with your family, with your friends, if you're around a group of people or just an individual and they consistently make you feel like you're a burden, you're a problem, they want to misunderstand you, what are you going to do eventually? You're going to leave. You're going to leave. You're going to go away from that. Right? And when you do that, it's going to frustrate them. It's going to piss them off. But these are the same people that didn't understand you, right? These are the same people that kept trying to put you down or mock you or laugh or joke. But then when you remove that, when you said, all right, whatever, fine. I'll take my information. I'll take my rareness, me being rare, and I'll go elsewhere where I'm appreciated. Then that's when the fangs come out. That's when the horns go up. That's when all the, the craziness happens, because it's like, who do they think they are? So now they want to ignore me. Now they want to ghost me. Now they want to act like I don't exist. And it's like, what, excuse me, y'all. I know I'm silly, but I'm thinking about that Tyrese meme where he's like, what more do you want from me? Like, that's the, I know for y'all seen it, okay? For y'all who haven't, please look it up, all right? But that Tyrese meme where he's like, what more do you want from me? He starts crying. Like, that's how it is with us being a chosen one, okay? Because it's like, on one hand, you can't stand me, get away from me. You want to act funny and shady when I'm around. But then when I remove that presence, when I withdraw back and I realize my worth, and I'm like, okay, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my breath. Then it's, oh, what more do you want from me? Like, oh no, come back. I'm sorry. And it's like, this is where you notice that Jekyll Hyde stuff. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, 1 minute you're hot, 1 minute you're cold. We're not doing that. We're not playing those game shows on ones, okay? I'm not telling you all to accept an environment where people are comfortable misunderstanding you. What I'm letting you know is don't be upset. Try your hardest not to react and be upset, because that's what they want. I'm telling you guys, like I always do, that people, they thrive off of your negative reaction. They thrive off you getting sad and crying in front of them and having stress, because you're releasing your beautiful energy. Chosen ones, even when you have a meltdown, even when you react badly, it's still energy. And it's still a good energy, even though it's a bad vibration and frequency in a sense, because you're a light worker, because we're healers, because we're empaths, okay, because we have God's kingdom inside of us. When we release that anger and that frustration, people are still benefiting from it, all right? They don't leave you and feel like, oh, I got to go drink and do that. No. They might be a little frustrated, but then after they feel good because you still have given them that energy. You still have given them that goodness that we all have. We're not doing that, okay? It is not fair or allowed as a chosen one for you to energy vamp off of me, all right? That's what it's called, energy vampires. So they do things to purposely anger you, to purposely misunderstand you so that you can give them your energy. And then as soon as you do, it's like, bingo, you just fell for my trap. Thanks. Appreciate it. And then you're left to go home depleted. Because see, that's why we have to recharge. That's why isolation is like the base. It's like you can go to work, you could go to school, you could go, hang out with some people, again, hopefully on your same vibration and frequency, okay? And then you come back home, you can feel a little depleted because you've given your energy out. So you need to come back home and recharge. So isolation isn't bad in the sense that you need to recharge. But of course, like I said, we're on a mission, so we can't stay there. But when you're out with these certain people, they know who you are. They've always known who you are. People who you never even grew up around. Like again, if you start a new job and you work in a new environment with new coworkers, even they know. Most of them even know on day one when you get there. Because your aura and your presence is just beautiful. It's amazing. We have that energy where people want to talk to us for hours and days on end. Like they just can't get enough. And it's because of how intelligent and wise that we are, how encouraging and loving we are, how blessed we are. And we share that frequency with people and they can't get it nowhere else. Somebody talking to you, chosen one, and you giving them that energy and that comfort versus when they go and talk to somebody else that's on the same frequency as them, they like, ugh, I guess I got to settle with talking to them. But I really love talking to that chosen one. That's what you do. And so you have some people, they appreciate it. You will come across the people that will see that you're rare. They will know that you're hard to find. Okay? And they will truly, genuinely appreciate you. And I'm telling you, you will probably be able to count that on 5 hands. Right? Your 5 fingers. I said 5 hands. Your 5 fingers, all right? It's going to be a small amount of people. Like, a little small amount of people. It's not going to be like this big, grand thing of people. It's going to be a little small amount of people that's going to come into your life and truly appreciate your wisdom, truly appreciate your love and your heart. The rest of them, the majority of them, okay, they are going to be quick to misunderstand you, dismiss you, act like they're smarter than you, act like they're better than you, want to debate you, want to go back and forth. And it's like, baby, you new to this, we true to this. Okay? Y'all know I'm going to come up with my sayings for y'all, okay? My family, all right? They new to this, chosen ones. We've been true to this. This is our divine nature. So when you try to talk to me, you want to make me feel like I'm not being heard or understood, or you want to challenge and debate me all day long, it's like, okay, I'll entertain you. We'll entertain you. But you're not on our level. You're not on our level, baby. And you never will be. And that's what I'm telling you, chosen ones. That's what I want you to sit in that comfort. Even if you're talking to somebody, you out with somebody, they acting like this and that, and they trying to cause an argument or frustration, just sit back and be like, yeah, okay. Let it slide right off your shoulder. You was talking to me? Oh, I thought you was, I didn't know who you was talking to. That's going to frustrate them even more. Because that's my point, that their goal is to frustrate you. But you're going to turn that around and mirror that right back to them. Like, ooh, and you don't got to be violent about it. You don't got to be yelling and angry about it, cursing about it. Nope. Just go ahead and turn that mirror right back on them. Boop. Because when you come to talk to me, you know who I am and you know how I am. So you trying to play these little games to frustrate me or piss me off, I'm well ahead of that. I'm well ahead of the game, baby. Like I said, we true to this. And chosen one, you got to understand that, again, it's really not your job to just go out your way. It's not your job to go out your way. And I think for a lot of chosen ones, we felt like we've had to do this because of our upbringing. It goes back to that family, that toxicity a lot of us have experienced from childhood. that we didn't feel heard or understood really. And that's where the frustration started in the beginning. And see, when we were younger, we didn't know who we were. A lot of chosen ones, unless, I ain't gonna say everybody, because again, I don't know. But for the most part, a lot of us chosen ones, we didn't really know who we were until after our teenager years. Going into our early 20s, maybe mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s. Like I said, for me, maybe I didn't wake up until like the ending of my 20s, end of my 20s. And I keep saying I wish I would have found out sooner, but God's timing is the best time, and God knows, and He knew what He was doing. Always does, always will. So I'm saying this to you all because I want you to just see it from both lenses, okay? They're not going to understand you. They don't want to truly understand you, because that means that's a validation. All right. To sit here and just admit that you're right, to admit that they learn so much from you, to admit that they love talking to you, that they never get the same type of feeling or energy or frequency when they talk to anybody else, all that's going to do is confirm what we already know. But see, the funny part is that we don't need your validation. We don't need your pat on the back. We don't need that from you, because we already know now. And that's why I make these videos, because there are some chosen ones who may not know. There are some chosen ones that have not fully awakened yet, have not had their dark night of the soul, has not gone through that whole full transformation. Okay? But for those of us who have, such as myself, we know now. So sometimes I depending on my meditation practices, if I've truly been praying, if I've truly been meditating on God and God's word, as well as His promises, as well as the things, again, the laws of the universe, all these things, if I'm not in the right frequency and balance, when I do encounter a low vibe loser, okay, sometimes I fall into the trap every now and then. And I find myself going back and forth, or I find myself getting frustrated or really pissed or angry. And it's like, then I got to pull myself back in and talk to myself in my head like, Amber, come on, damn girl. Like, really? You know who you are. You know who you are. You don't need that validation. They wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, trying to convince you for so long if you wasn't really nobody. They just want to frustrate you and see that they can get up under your skin. Okay? They want to see that they could truly bother you, get under your skin, get under your spirit, because they want to get you off track. A lot of people don't like that you shine naturally. A lot of people hate your light. They love it because it attracts them, but they hate it because they don't have it, and they never will have it. They're plain, they're regular. The chosen ones, we are special. Like I said, everybody has their own uniqueness to them. Everybody has their own being special in their own way. I don't want to take that from anyone. But chosen ones are extremely, extremely special people. Okay? And we are really hard to forget about. Like, you're not going to meet a chosen one and be in their presence and just be like, whatever. And that's why even when you have fallouts with people, they still can't stop thinking about you. They still want to be around you, to be with you, even when they know it's not even that much compatibility there, whether that's in a loving thing or a friendship thing. Because they know they're not going to get this from anywhere else. They're going to have to go through 1,000 people before they probably meet another chosen one. We're rare. That's why I told you on the very beginning, you're like a rare diamond that you stumble across. And you're like, what? Like, I just hit the jackpot. I just hit the lottery. Yeah, that's you. So when you're in this 3D world with people and you're ascending to that 5D, going to, again, we know that this place is not our home. This is not our home, chosen ones. So that's their job, to misunderstand you. Some of them are ignorantly misunderstanding you, And some of them are purposely misunderstanding you. And I can't really say which one you're going to meet more because there's a lot of ignorant people out here that don't know about this because they're trapped in the matrix. They're trapped in that spell. They're trapped under, well, only if I see it, then I'm going to believe it. When God tells you, blessed be the man that not only sees it, but he doesn't have to see to believe. Yeah, not blessed be the man that sees and believe, but blessed be the man who doesn't see and still believe. We got a whole spiritual realm, whether y'all want to, whether the 3D low vibes want to admit it or not, it's here. And you don't have to accept it. The spiritual realm is real. And that's the main thing we're fighting against. We're in the physical flesh, we're in the physical realm, but we're fighting a lot through the spiritual. We wrestle not against what? Flesh and blood, but against evil principalities in high places that we cannot see. Right? So the battle is not with that individual body, it's the spirit behind it. And so that's what I'm telling you, as a chosen one, they're not supposed to understand you. No. They're going to misunderstand you. Sometimes being completely ignorant and sometimes being deliberately trying to piss you off. Discern the difference, but either way, whether they're ignorant or they're purposely doing it, it's not your job to make them figure you out. It is not your job to get their validation because you don't need anybody's validation. You don't need it from me. You don't need it from your neighbor. You don't need it from your mother. You don't need it from your friend. You don't need it from your spouse. The only validation that you need is G-O-D, period. And when you got God's validation and God's love and God's promises and God's power that dwells within your beautiful spirit, baby, you don't need nobody out here to understand you. You don't need anybody out here to try to guide you or transform you or do none of that. Because God's going to take care of all of that. And he's already doing it. He's already doing it. All right? Y'all know I can preach now, all right? I ain't trying to preach, but y'all know I be getting in that mode, all right? All right, beautiful souls. So you keep shining that beautiful light. You go out here into this damn 3D matrix, this 3D messed up world, and you shine like the beautiful star that you are. And you show up as that beautiful 5D spirit. Because we ascending, baby. We going up. And whoever gonna be left behind or left in the side, that's on them. But we going up. Okay? You remain beautiful inside and out. You are such a beautiful spirit. And I'm honored to be a part of this chosen family. Truly. All right? I love you all so much. But remember, God loves you so much more. I'll see you in the next one.